Now the next shape that we have is a trapezium. Now trapezium is a shape that has one pair of parallel sides and other pair is non-parallel. So we can see that AB is parallel to DC and AD is not parallel to BC. So we have the parallel sides measurement A and B, and H here represents the height of the trapezium, right? So how do we calculate the area of trapezium? Area of trapezium is calculated as half of sum of parallel sides multiplied with the height. So now we have the sum of parallel sides as A plus B, because that is the parallel sides that we have, and the height is represented with H, so we write H over here. That means we come to the conclusion that area of trapezium can be calculated by half into A plus B into H. Now the next figure is of rhombus. Rhombus has the property that all the four sides are equal to each other. Now a rhombus is different from a square. What is the difference? As a rectangle is different from a parallelogram, that is the difference between rhombus and a square. Square has all the sides equal and rhombus also has all the sides equal. This is the similarity between them. Now where does the difference come out? The difference is in their angles. In square, all the four angles are of measurement 90 degrees, whereas this is not the case in case of rhombus. We do not have each angle equal to 90, right? So that is the difference between rhombus and square. Moving on how to calculate the area of rhombus, we have two methods. So I am going to write both the formulas. If you have the base of the rhombus and you have the height of the rhombus. See, if I consider PQ as the base, here is the height for base PQ. If I take QR as the base, the height is going to be this, the perpendicular from the opposite side on QR, right? And similarly, so if you have the base and height of a rhombus known to you, you can find out the area by multiplying the base and height of the rhombus. Here B represents the base and H represents the height of the rhombus. That is one formula. For the other case, that means if you do not have the base and height of the rhombus known, what you can do? You might have the diagonals known to you. Now what are diagonals? Diagonals are line segments that join the two opposite vertices of a quadrilateral. Now this is a four-sided quadrilateral, right? So here the diagonal D1 is the line segment PR and diagonal D2 is line segment SQ. So if you want to write the area for this rhombus, you can also write it as the product of diagonals, that is diagonal 1 into diagonal 2. So if you do the product of both, you are going to get the area of diagonal, plus it has to be divided with 2. That means either you can calculate the area of rhombus by base into height, that is by doing the product of base and height, if you have the base and height known. If you do not have base and height known to you, what you can do is you can do the product of the diagonals of the rhombus and divided with 2. So you can say half of diagonal product of diagonal 1 into diagonal 2 will give you the area for this rhombus. Now that was the particular cases. What would you do if you are given any four-sided shape, or you can say any quadrilateral? Now say this is one example taken. I have this shape which is neither a square nor a rectangle, neither trapezium, not a rhombus, not any of the four-sided shapes that we have studied up till now. Then how will you calculate the area for such figures? For such figures, you must join the diagonals or divide the quadrilateral in such a way that you get the two shapes of which areas you are already aware. Like I have joined E and G, that is I have made a diagonal for this quadrilateral, and by doing so I have divided the quadrilateral into two triangles. Now that makes my work easier because I have the two triangles and I am very much familiar with the calculation of area of triangles. So I can find out the area of each triangle, that is triangle FEG and triangle EHG, and I'll add them up together, or you can say sum the area of sum of areas of both the triangles is going to give me the area of this quadrilateral. So we can write that as area equal to, here I am going to write the total derivation of how the formula for this is derived. You can write the area of EFGH as the sum of area of triangle EFG plus area of triangle EHG. Now what is area of EFG? As we know the area of triangle, what is the formula for area of triangle? Area of triangle is calculated by the product of half base of the triangle into height of the triangle. So now we can apply it over here. For the triangle EFG, we have taken the base to be EG. So I do over here half EG. Now EG can be written down as D because I have taken the measurement of EG to be D. And what is the height for this base? The height for this triangular base EG is going to be the perpendicular distance, right? The one that I am showing you. This is the height for this triangle and that is represented by small a. So we write over here small a. Plus similarly we will find out the area of this triangle, that is going to be half base into height. Now the base is going to remain the same, that is D, and height for this triangle is going to be the perpendicular from the opposite vertex, which has the measurement B in this case. So I'll write B over here. Now if you want, you can check on your own that both the terms over here have something common in them, and that is half into D common to both. So we take out half into D common, we are left with A plus B. So that gives us the area of any quadrilateral, right? For this particular quadrilateral, the area can be calculated by putting this direct formula, that is half into D, which is the length of the diagonal, A into A plus B. A is the height of the first triangle and B is the height of the next triangle. So similarly you can have a polygon also, right? That was the case only for the quadrilaterals. Now you can have polygons, right? Polygons means having n number of sides. They can have any number of sides in them. So here I have made a polygon, and if I ask you to find out the area for this, how are you going to do that? As we just discussed, we can divide a polygon into any number of shapes such that the area for each shape can be calculated and you will add them up together to get the area for this polygon. Now for that, say for this example, I am going to divide it like this, and that leaves me with 6 shapes over here. You can see I have divided the area of polygon into 6 parts, and each of them is in such a shape for which I can calculate the area very easily. Now this is, first one is a triangle. I know the area of triangle formula. This second shape is a rectangular one, so we can calculate the area of rectangle also. We have triangle at 3rd, 4th and 6th place, and we have rectangle at 5th place. So it will be very easy for us to calculate all the 6 areas separately and then add them up together. That will give you the area of this polygon. So you can have any polygon given to you, and if you are required to find out the area, you can just divide that polygon into n number of parts depending on your choice, and you can just add up the individual areas of those figures and give the required area.